So the answer isn't always as clear as we think it should be. When everybody asks, do I have to pay taxes on my side hustle? The quick answer everybody gets is, of course you have to pay taxes on your side hustle. But that's not necessarily 100% true. Who am I? I'm Gregg. I've started many side hustles and turned them into full-time businesses, and I love helping you start your side hustle, run your side hustle, and be successful with it, and maybe you too will turn your side hustle into a full-time business. About taxes, the thing is, yes, you have to pay taxes on all of your income. That is the really short answer. But the truth is, when you start a side hustle and when you have a side hustle, even if it's not a legal entity like an LLC or an incorporated company, it is still a business that you are doing to make money. And when you are running a business to make money, even if it's what you call just a side hustle and it's not a documented business, it is still something you are doing to make money. And when you are doing something to make money, there are deductions involved. And having a side hustle could actually reduce the amount of tax you owe and not increase it. That is possible, but do not hear what I am not saying. I am not saying ever to cheat on your taxes. But what I am saying is there are deductions that could actually change the way you pay taxes and lower the amount of taxes you make. So how does all that work? Well, number one, I do suggest using some kind of accounting software like QuickBooks Online or something to track it, because it's going to make it a lot easier for you. You can use pen and paper and keep all your receipts. That's fine as well, but it's just easier sometimes when you have software. So with your side hustle, you are doing jobs to make money of some sort. Whether it's jobs online, whether it's jobs in person, there's ways that you are doing this work. And to do this work, you do have legitimate expenses, and those become deductions off of your taxable income. So if I made $100, but it cost me $50 to make that $100, I'm only technically taxed on the remaining $50 because now I only made $50 after I paid expenses. Not every deduction is 100% write-off, as that would be called, but frequently they are. So what are legitimate deductions that you should be thinking about? Well, number one, do you use space in your house for any part of your side hustles? Like, do you have a desk area or an office area that you work out of? That portion of your home expenses can be considered an expense to your side hustle business. So therefore, that portion is tax deductible. Do you use your vehicle for your side hustle? Well, that is potentially tax deductible. Do you use internet for your side hustle? Well, that is potentially a tax deduction. What about a cell phone? Do you use a cell phone? Well, there you go. You potentially have another business expense. Anything that you use in any way, shape, or form for this side hustle business of yours is potentially a tax write-off. Now, how do you know if it is or is not? What I strongly suggest you do is you keep track of every single expense you have that somehow connects to the business. Even if it's something that was an expense before you had your side hustle business, if it is now used in relation to the business in any way, keep track of it. Now that you're tracking it all, you know exactly all the expenses that somehow interact with your business. Now, when it comes tax time, you may want to pay a professional tax preparer or an accountant to prepare your taxes and present all of this information. They will help you decipher what is legally deductible and what is not, and how that gets done. So the most important part about reducing your tax burden, as we call it, is to make sure you keep records of every single expense that in any way, shape, or form touches your business. Maybe for your side hustle, you had to eat out sometimes. That could be a tax deduction. Maybe you had to travel somewhere. Well, now you've got the expense of getting there, any transportation, any hotel, any food, so many things there that could be a legitimate tax deduction. So when you add up all of these deductions, it may actually on paper look like you've lost money even though you gained money. It's really weird how accounting works that way, but in doing this, it may actually reduce your income enough to where you'll actually lower the amount of taxes you owe instead of increasing the taxes you owe. Now, for safety's sake, what I highly recommend is as you earn income, you're setting aside at least 15% of that money into some kind of an account where you're not touching it. So when tax time comes, if you do have a tax burden, you already have a good amount of money ready to pay those taxes. But with good accounting and good record keeping, you can greatly reduce the amount of taxes you are going to owe. So keep excellent records of every single expense you have that interacts with your business in any way. When it comes tax time, make sure to present all of this information to the person preparing your taxes. If you're using online software, just make sure when you enter this information that you are entering it correctly to make sure that you are not overstepping the line of what is allowed and not allowed. If you're using a tax preparer or an accountant, they should already know what is acceptable and not acceptable. If it seems as though your tax preparer is not knowledgeable in this area, I strongly suggest you find somebody else to do your taxes. Paying somebody a couple $100s to do your taxes can save you thousands of dollars in taxes. It can be very well worth it to make sure you have a great tax preparer or a great accountant on your side. I know you can do this. I know you can make great money and have a successful side hustle. I hope you have a profitable and awesome day.